You ready?
Showtime.
On May 3rd, summer starts with The Fall Guy.
Let's do it later.
Let's drink a spicy margarita.
Make some bad decisions.
Yes!
Audiences are falling in love with the most entertaining film of the year.
Fall Guy.
Fall Guy?
Fall guy.
That's what the poster said.
See Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt in the movie critics say exists to make you happy.
Trying to make it out?
Nope.
Because I don't either. It's not what I'm into right now.
What are you into?
Talking.
Yeah.
The Fall Guy. Only in theaters May 3rd. Rated PG-13.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Scouser Tommies on Anfield Index. We haven't done one for a while. What happened? We went away, didn't do Scouser Tommies for a couple of weeks, and the season went to pot. But maybe it's not completely to pot now. Let's see. When we last did a podcast, it was definitely in our own hands, and now it's not in our own hands. But you don't give up hope till the end, I suppose. And in a way, I'm glad we didn't do podcasts in some ways, because I did do Raw. Let's face it, there hasn't been a lot of football we've wanted to talk about this last couple of weeks, has there? But I think that changed. We won on Sunday. We're recording this on Monday. We lost to Palace a week ago, but yesterday we went and won a game against Fulham. Stalling them. My brain's just gone. All these London teams you see, they all begin to sound the same after a bit. They're all just like thorns in our side. It's not been great this year, Liverpool playing in London, usually because the referees come along and spoiled it. But we actually got away with it this time. We didn't have a referee. Actually, to be fair, the referee seemed quite decent. They didn't like him, but he seemed quite decent. But as always with Reid today, and well, Jay, let's sort of go back then to when we last did do a show, and we were kind of, I think, looking ahead to the Man United game, and that game we knew, all the old cliches, form goes out the window and all the rest of it. We knew it wasn't going to be necessarily that easy a game, and it was frustrating the way it ended. But it seemed to kind of cause a little mini implosion in our season, didn't it? Because we dropped the points there. We just fell apart against Atalanta, and then we couldn't even get a point against Palace at home. It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like our confidence went, we just got hit in the face. We finally realised that, maybe we were just pretenders to where we were in the league. I don't know. I don't know. It's difficult to know how the season's going to unfold now, but at least the pressure's not on for us. But yeah, let's just go back to that United game. What do you remember about it? Do you remember it being as bad as it feels all this time ago? To me, the problem with that game was we played quite well. We had so much control, but we just took it for granted that we were going to win without remembering that you've actually got to do the bit where you put the ball in the back of the net enough times to, and keep the door shut at the other end. It's, a couple of mistakes maybe, yeah, but we just didn't have it in us to do our thing where we just react and score goals when we concede stupid ones.
Yeah, it was kind of weird in the way that, had we not read the script, 3 weeks before when we played them in the cup, which was a bit of an eye-opener in terms of, obviously, it was the nail in the quadruple coffin quite early on in terms of, we didn't even manage to get past, what was that, the quarter-final stage and in the FA Cup, and the dreams were dashed there of the quadruple. But let's all be honest, we tried for a quadruple a couple of years ago. We know how hard it is. Even Man City can't even buy themselves a quadruple; they can only buy themselves a treble, which kind of shows how hard it is. But I think if we're all honest with ourselves, we've not played well for a while. And that's not just a couple of weeks in reflection to a few iffy results that we've had over the last, half a dozen games or whatever. If we went back through our actual fixture list, barring the European games against Sparta Prague, which were pretty much a walkover, and a solid performance against Man City, where arguably we could have come out with a victory given, as you've mentioned, a referee decision. You look back through our actual, results.
Hello there. Have you ever found yourself getting ready to watch the Liverpool match? You've got your mates round, you've got your drinks, you've got your snacks, you're all set to go. It's going to be a good day. And then you find out, oh, the game's not actually being broadcast in your region. There's the heartbreak, there's rage, there's despair, there's fury. You're upset. You're looking for a solution. Well, we've teamed up with NordVPN to bring you a game-changing solution. That's right. With NordVPN, you can switch your virtual location to a country where the game's on live. It's like having a global ticket to sports, TV shows, and movies from all around the world. And here's the best part. If you go to nordvpn.com/Anfield Index, you'll score the best discount on your NordVPN plan. Plus, our link gives you 4 extra months free on the 2-year plan. And that's what we call a winning streak. And if you're sitting there and you're thinking, what if it's not for me? What if I don't like it? What if I'm not getting the use of it? Don't worry about it. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's totally risk-free. I've been using NordVPN to catch all the Liverpool matches and TV shows that I'd normally miss out on. It's totally transformed both my weekends and my TV watching. And not only that, not only does it give me access to stuff from all around the world with the click of a button, it keeps all my data safe. It means that the miscreants, the ne'er-do-wells, what my grandmother would have called scallywags, who lurk on the internet to try and steal your information, can't get to your information. NordVPN keeps it safe for you. So don't let geo-restrictions bench you this season. Visit nordvpn.com/Anfield Index and make sure that you're in the game, no matter when or where it's being played. Remember, it's not just sports, it's your all-access pass to binge-worthy TV shows and blockbuster movies from all around the globe. NordVPN literally unlocks the world for you and keeps you safe from the world. So don't miss out. Head over to nordvpn.com/Anfield Index and let the fun and games begin.
The first game back, he can look a bit rusty, but, he's soon, back on fine form. But something seems a little bit amiss, and, the speculation is mounting. And I think genuinely, like in the last couple of weeks, there's been conversations between myself and probably many other Liverpool fans. I think, is this the end of Mo Salah? And, it's not something that anyone, 4 or 5 months ago would have actually contemplated the conversation about, really, is this the end of Mo Salah Liverpool? But, the reality might be that his age, his profile, the potential value on the table, versus the potential cost of a new contract with said age and whatever. And given the structure that we've now reinforced at the club with Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, we sort of have an idea of how Edwards works anyway and operates, and possibly there's an opportunity there to extract maximum value for a player who, in 12 months' time will either be out of contract with us and have zero value, or should we sign him to another contract, potentially not worth the value that we could extract this summer. So it's a genuine conversation. It's a strange one to have, but as you bring it back to what you said about being on the bench, then yeah, he was right to be on the bench, and as was a few players, Darwin Núñez included, and not many other people are bigger fans as Darwin Núñez and what he offers us as I am, but genuinely in front of goal lately he's been poor, and Jota yesterday, his all-round play was poor, but when given the opportunity, yes, he fluffed one in the first half, but then second half doesn't make a clean contact, but it ends up in the back of the net and goals of the country that strikers operate in. And he's the most clinical finisher. I don't care what Jurgen Klopp was saying last week where he said Salah was the most clinical. I think, let's be honest, it's Jota. And I think you mentioned, the man himself, Robbie Farr. Yeah, I think there was as much as the drivel that you hear on Sky Sports, with Neville and Carragher and that on there, like there was a comment from Peter Drury, which was, a cricket analogy using the scoreboard pressure. And we've got the runs on the board, and we've sort of, if we do the business in the derby, it puts us 4 points ahead of City, and yes, they will have 2 games in hand, and one of them is played straight away on Thursday. But we've done our business, the points are in the bank, and it's over to you, City. Can you do it? And if we're all honest with ourselves, we expect them to do it. We don't expect them to drop a point. And I think amongst conversations I was having yesterday when the team was leaked, which is it's becoming a very frequent thing lately, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't like to see the team leaked, especially first thing in the morning, like 6-7 hours before the game. Like maybe, if the team drops, 2 hours before the game, and you think, well, somehow that's got out because, it potentially could, but 7 hours, 8 hours before the game, that's not right. In some cases, in the last few weeks, it's been the night before that we've seen a team which isn't on. And if we're getting the leaks, then, certainly opposition teams can find out who they are and essentially tinker their teams and tactics. But, there was a feeling amongst, say several people I was speaking to, was it was sort of a free hit in a way yesterday that, yes, it was boom or bust on the season in terms of if we won, we carry on and the dream is sort of still alive. But had we have lost, given the Arsenal victory the day before at Wolves, it all would have effectively secured our chances of the title being 0. But yes, it was a pressure-free, to a sense, game and a free hit in terms of, players coming in who've not featured so much lately or from the start. And then, you just wanted to see something different than what we've seen over the last few weeks. And we did. We saw, at times, yes, it was a bit slow and, it looked a little bit like the Atalanta game in terms of build-up and sort of possession-based football, which I don't think we're sort of that good at. It's okay having it, but it sort of becomes a little bit meaningless and pointless, and you need to threaten and show a bit more intent, and we did do that in the second half. And I thought a lot of the players improved in the second half. Markedly the midfield 3 who started the game were much better in the second half. And as I said earlier on, Jota didn't have his best game by far, but when given the opportunity, he puts it away. And we mentioned Gakpo and Diaz was lively, even though he was in a position we're not usually accustomed to seeing. And I agreed with what you said on Raw in terms of, like, you didn't really feel panicked. You did sort of feel as though, yes, we've given Fulham opportunities, but he didn't really seem to be taking them up, and he didn't trouble us too much. And I think had the game have continued, at a level feeling, and we had the opportunity to bring those subs off the bench, and okay, they squandered chances, but I did feel as though we would have seized the opportunity and eventually rolled out winners in the game. And yes, that could be, the pressure thing that's actually what we've got, and possibly even the fact that we're now away from home for the next, couple of games at least. We had Fulham at the weekend. We've got the derby, as we said, on Wednesday. Yes, it's in essence it's home, and the fact that it's based in the city, so we ain't got to travel and stuff. But we've still got to go, to that field. It's probably the best way of putting it.
Just a field. There's a couple of sheds around it.
Yeah, and then we've got to go to West Ham at the weekend. So possibly the pressure of everything that's built up over the last few weeks, and going to Old Trafford is intense and whatever, and the European side didn't go right, and the Palace game didn't go right at Anfield, and in both them games. Maybe it's not to say that the Anfield crowd is too.
Sports Social Podcast Network.